He tried to erase me with a signature, not with a fight, not with "you're dead to me," but with a quiet legal document that said, in careful wording, I didn't matter. My name is Anna. I'm 34, a social worker, and for most of my life I believed that my family wasn't perfect, but it was fair. My parents always said, whatever we have will be split equally between you and your brother. 50-50? 6 months ago, I found out my father had gone to a lawyer and changed that promise without ever looking me in the eye. We grew up in a small house that smelled like coffee and stress. My father, Paolo, was an accountant. My mother, Lucia, was a nurse. My younger brother, Leo, was the charming one, always in trouble, always forgiven. I was the responsible one. I helped with bills, did my homework, learned to be the calm person in every crisis. As adults, I became a social worker, stable, modest salary, long days helping other families survive. Leo chased opportunities. Sales, crypto, vague consulting. He had the nice car, the flashy Instagram, and a habit of borrowing money from our parents, just until next month. When my mother got cancer, I moved back into my old room to help. I took her to chemo, managed medications, slept in hospital chairs. Leo came when he could, stayed long enough for selfies and small talk, then left. She never complained, but I saw the disappointment in her eyes. After she died, the house felt like it had lost its heartbeat. My father shrank into routines and numbers. One evening, he called us to the kitchen. I want to talk about the inheritance, he said. I don't want fighting later. He reminded us of the old plan, everything split evenly. Then he added, almost casually, I've been thinking. Leo is building a business. You have a stable job, Anna. Maybe it makes sense for him to get more. You don't really care about money. I said, I care about fairness. He waved it off. Leo promised he'd always take care of me. I swallowed the hurt and ended the conversation with, we'll deal with it when there's an actual will. I thought that would delay things. It didn't. A few months later, my father asked me to meet him near his office. He had a folder on the table. I saw the lawyer, he said. I want you to read this. It was his new will. The house, the rental apartment, the savings, the investments, everything went to Leo. My name appeared once, giving me my mother's jewelry and sentimental items. That's all? I asked. You have your own income, he said. You're strong. Leo needs a push. You'll be fine. I looked at the paper, then at him. Dad, this isn't about whether I survive, I said. I will. It's about what this says. On paper, you're telling me Leo's risks matter more than my sacrifices. That all the nights I spent here with Mom are worth some earrings. He didn't answer. I won't drag you to court, I said quietly. But remember this, when you're gone, this document is your last message to us. If you choose to write your love in a way that deletes me, that choice will outlive you. He muttered, You'll understand when you're a parent. And looked away. I went home and cried until there were no tears left. Then something in me hardened, not into bitterness, but into clarity. If my own father could change his mind with a signature, I couldn't build my life on what he might leave behind someday. So I stopped waiting. I met with a financial counselor, opened my own savings and investment accounts, and started putting away small amounts every month. Embarrassingly small, but they were mine. I told myself, my safety net will not depend on anyone's mood. Then life did what it always does. It forced everyone to reveal who they really are. My father had a minor stroke. Not enough to destroy him, but enough to make everything fragile. He ended up in the hospital, suddenly dependent on other people's hands. I was there almost every day. I talked to doctors, pushed his wheelchair, argued with insurance. Leo came at first, then work got busy again. One night, my father looked at me over his hospital tray. I didn't expect it to be you, he said. Me what? Here, every day, he answered. I always thought Leo would be the one to show up big. You were just the one I never had to worry about. He squeezed my fingers. Thank you, he said. Weeks later, after rehab, he called me into his little office at home. Another folder was on the desk. I went back to the lawyer, he said. I want you to read this one too. It was a new will. This time, everything was split 50-50 between Leo and me. Any loans Leo still owed my father would come out of his half. I was wrong, my father said, before I could speak. I thought being responsible meant you needed less from me. I thought helping Leo more was love, lying in that hospital, realizing who actually came when I needed help. I saw how backwards that was. He tapped the paper. This will is going to outlive me, he said. I want it to say I saw you, Anna. Not just as the strong one, as my daughter. I cried, not because I was suddenly getting money, but because, for once, I felt seen. Leo was furious when he found out, accused me of manipulating our father, of stealing what was his. You're still getting half, I told him. Half of what's left, after paying back what you already took. He snapped, It's not about the money. And for once we agreed. Because underneath all of this, it was never just about the numbers. It was about the story. The first will said, the loud, risky child matters more than the quiet, reliable one. The second will said, showing up matters. Stability counts. Love doesn't mean rewarding the person who shouts the loudest. Will there even be much left when my father dies? Maybe not. The house might be sold for care. The savings might shrink. But that's not the point anymore. He tried to cut me out of the inheritance. Instead, he cut through his own denial and forced me to stop waiting for a piece of paper to prove I matter. For the first time, my future doesn't live in his filing cabinet. It lives in my own hands.